take a trip, let's take a trip. Let's take a trip to reality. Take a trip with me. Let's take a trip, let's take a trip, let's take a trip. Take a trip with me. Let's take a trip, let's take a trip, let's take a trip. Take a trip with me. Let's take a trip, let's take a trip, let's take a trip. Come on, take a trip with me. Yeah. Let's take a trip, let's take a trip. Let's take a trip to reality. Let's start trip. Let's take a trip to reality. No more glorifying and tell a story on the real, though it's horrifying. About to crack the fiends, a little drug score. Drunk up a point, another death at a drugstore. Robbery, they're robbing of my right to live free. They're giving out look to the public and negativity. Crack babies born to die, sentenced by a pipe. Who's gonna stop their crime? That ain't right. At any age they turn their back, go school and smoke. Carrying books, no it's a gun they tote. Taking a life for the hit of a pipe, no kindness. Walking the streets mindless. Gangs will kill for control of an area. Innocent children living the life of hysteria. Mothers give birth and hope their kids don't stray. Every night on their knees they pray. But still the innocent get hit by a barrage of bullets directed the other way out of garage. Hit up so you know what gang it is. This is a personal, they're just taking care of business. So business is done, it's not a pun, it's their life's work. But on the real, a man doesn't like to hurt. So what we got is a lot of kids playing G.I. Joe, thinking they're invincible. No, they kill and get killed by what they selling, no yelling, they spelling volleys of gunfire. The game what most admire, but now they on the run, getting done by the gun. And tripping off reality, son. Yeah, let's take a trip to reality. A trip to reality. Yeah. Let's take a trip to reality. A trip to reality. Yeah. Let's take a trip to reality. Let's take a trip to reality. Take a trip with me. Take a trip with me. Let's take a trip to reality and learn the real story. The life and death, people crying, it's never boring. Someone new dies every day, and with each new death comes a new way of execution. 187 is not just a number, another life goes under. It's the eternal slumber, so you wonder what makes these killers tick. They must be sick, but they can stick and do it quick. In the blink of an eye you lose, but when you get caught slipping, it's all about what life you choose. Some make it out and some get sucked in. Some got a chance and some are dead before they begin. So you gotta decide which ride to get on. Pride is left to the side and you can bet on obstacles getting in your way. It's a constant pain, kids trained to gain a name but end up looking lame. Now they on the run, getting done by the gun and tripping off reality, son. Yeah. Come on, let's take a trip to reality. Take a trip with me. Let's take a trip, take a trip. Yeah. Let's take a trip to reality. A trip to reality. Let's take a trip to reality. A trip to reality. Come on. Fantasy. Let's take a trip to reality. Take a trip with me. No more fantasy. Let's take a trip to reality. Take a trip with me. No more fantasy, let's take a trip to reality. Let's see how it can be, you know, with you and me. Let's go together, everybody. We take a trip to reality. A trip to reality. Let's take a trip to reality. Come on, let's take a trip to reality. Let's take a trip to reality. Let's take a trip, let's take a trip.